Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Sarah who was approaching her first visit to the gynecologist. She had heard stories from friends about the discomfort and awkwardness of the experience, but little did she know that her visit would take a horrifying turn. Sarah had been experiencing unexplained pain in her lower abdomen for weeks. It had become so intense that she couldn't ignore it any longer. Reluctantly, she scheduled an appointment with a renowned gynecologist, Dr. Victoria Thompson, known for her expertise in women's health. The day of the appointment arrived, and Sarah's anxiety grew with each passing minute. As she entered the clinic, she was greeted by an eerie atmosphere. The waiting room seemed unusually silent, and a chill ran down her spine. Ignoring her instincts, she convinced herself it was just nerves. When her turn came, Sarah was led into the examination room by a nurse. Dr. Thompson, a middle-aged woman with a stern demeanor, entered shortly after. The doctor's eyes held an unsettling intensity, making Sarah feel uneasy. As the examination began, Sarah's discomfort grew, both physically and emotionally. Dr. Thompson's touch felt cold and invasive, sending shivers down her spine. Strange whispers seemed to echo in the room, but Sarah couldn't decipher their source. Midway through the examination, Sarah noticed a change in Dr. Thompson's behavior. Her expression morphed into a sinister grin, and her movements became more forceful. Sarah's pain intensified, and she felt a searing sensation as if something unnatural was happening. To her horror, Sarah realized that Dr. Thompson was not just an ordinary doctor. She was a ghost, a vengeful spirit preying on innocent women. The ghostly doctor had taken on a physical form to deceive and exploit her patients, particularly young girls like Sarah. As Sarah's fear reached its peak, she found herself paralyzed on the examination table, unable to escape the clutches of the malevolent entity. The room grew darker, the air thick with an ominous presence. Shadows danced on the walls, revealing grotesque images of disfigured bodies. Sarah's virginity was violently taken by the ghostly doctor, a chilling act that defied the laws of the living. The pain she endured was not only physical but also soul-crushing. The encounter left her scarred, both mentally and emotionally, as the ghostly entity drained her life force. Days turned into weeks, and Sarah's health rapidly deteriorated. She became a mere shell of her former self, haunted by the memory of that fateful visit. Her body bore the marks of the ghostly encounter, its cruel touch leaving behind a permanent reminder of her torment. The truth about Dr. Thompson eventually came to light when other victims stepped forward, sharing their haunting experiences. It was revealed that the ghostly doctor had been terrorizing young women for decades, leaving a trail of shattered lives and broken souls in her wake. Emma's life took a terrifying turn when she sought help for the unrelenting pain in her lower abdomen. Frustrated and haunted by a strange sensation that repelled potential partners, she turned to Dr. Harris, a renowned gynecologist. Little did she know that her journey would lead her down a path of unimaginable horror. As the examination progressed, Emma's anxiety intensified. The room seemed to darken, and an oppressive aura suffocated her. Dr. Harris, captivated by the enigma surrounding Emma, delved deeper into the mystery. With every passing moment, the unsettling presence within her grew stronger, craving release and bloodshed. Dr. Harris's face contorted in sheer horror as he confronted the grim reality. "Emma," he stammered, "you carry an ancient curse, a monstrous entity that desires death and seeks to unleash chaos upon the world." Emma's heart pounded with terror as the realization sank in. Her existence had become a vessel for unspeakable evil, an instrument of destruction. With each passing day, the entity's influence tightened its grip, threatening to consume her entirely. Haunted by the malevolent entity's whispers, Emma ventured into the depths of her family's history, unearthing a dark lineage entangled with demonic pacts and forbidden rituals. The truth was more horrifying than she could have ever imagined, as it revealed that her fate was sealed, a sacrificial offering to satiate the entity's insatiable hunger. Desperate to break free from her inevitable demise, Emma sought help from paranormal experts and delved into ancient texts, searching for a glimmer of hope. However, the entity's power grew with each passing day, manipulating her dreams and tormenting her with visions of her impending demise. As Emma's struggle reached its climax, she confronted the entity head-on, aided by a small group of allies who had dedicated themselves to saving her soul. In a cataclysmic battle against darkness, their efforts seemed feeble against the overwhelming malevolence that surrounded her. In a heart-wrenching twist, Emma's resolve faltered, and the entity seized the opportunity to claim her life as its own. As the final confrontation unfolded, her allies fought valiantly, but the entity's power was too great. Emma's life force was consumed, leaving nothing but an empty vessel behind. The horror and tragedy of Emma's tale echoed through the hearts of those who had fought alongside her. The entity, having achieved its grim purpose, faded back into the shadows, leaving a trail of sorrow and despair in its wake. Jenna's routine visit to the gynecologist turned into a nightmare she could never have imagined. As she entered the clinic, an overwhelming sense of foreboding washed over her. The receptionist wore an unnerving smile, and the waiting room seemed eerily deserted. Ignoring her growing unease, Jenna followed the nurse into the examination room, unaware of the horrors that awaited her. As the procedure commenced, the atmosphere in the room changed dramatically. The once friendly doctor's demeanor turned sinister, and Jenna's instincts screamed danger. The walls seemed to close in, and the air grew heavy with an unsettling presence. She glanced at the medical instruments, only to find them stained with fresh blood, a macabre sight that sent shivers down her spine. Jenna's pain escalated to unbearable levels, surpassing any discomfort she had ever experienced. She fought against the searing agony, desperately yearning to escape. In a moment of sheer desperation, she managed to catch a glimpse of the clinic's dark history. It was a place where unethical experiments were conducted, and innocent lives had been lost. Haunted by the tortured souls of past patients, the clinic became a breeding ground for malevolent spirits. Jenna realized that she had become a pawn in their sinister game, and her only hope lay in uncovering the truth. Armed with determination and a relentless spirit, she embarked on a treacherous journey to expose the clinic's dark secrets. As Jenna delved deeper into the investigation, she encountered restless spirits, each with their own tragic stories. Their presence grew stronger, manifesting in eerie whispers and shadowy figures that stalked her every move. But Jenna refused to be intimidated. She sought the assistance of a paranormal expert, someone who understood the supernatural realm and could help her navigate the treacherous path ahead. Together, they unraveled the clinic's grim past, unearthing the dark experiments that had led to the demise of countless unsuspecting patients. The spirits yearned for justice, and Jenna was their voice. In a climactic showdown, she confronted the malevolent forces that had haunted the clinic, fighting to reclaim her own life and release the tormented souls trapped within those blood-stained walls. Jenna emerged from her harrowing ordeal forever changed, her determination to expose the clinic's atrocities undeterred. She became an advocate for the voiceless victims, vowing to ensure that no one would ever suffer the same fate again. Her story became a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in unexpected places, even within the seemingly sterile confines of a gynecologist's office.